Yes, I don't know much about cameras, to be honest. And I have been thinking whether or not I should have a camera on me. I don't think I'm totally comfortable with that, at least at the moment. Uh, Especially also, my living arrangement is not the greatest at the moment. And so you would likely be able to see everything in the background and so on, because I live in a tiny one-room apartment where everything in the apartment would just be in one shot, essentially. Of course, I know that there are blurring capabilities and all of that stuff, but at the same time, mm, it is not ideal because it doesn't always work. Then you could say I could get like a wall behind me or something, like buy a thing like that, but I'm also not at a point where I feel very comfortable spending money on things for the stream, especially considering my current, let's say, financial situation. Other than games, that's maybe where I would spend money, because I'm not planning to just stream Satisfactory. I also do stream Diablo 2, and I'm planning to stream other games after Satisfactory as well. So, um,
Fixed employee contract reminder. No pioneer should speculate regarding why there are crashed freighters on this planet.
okay, yes, okay, nice. Yeah, I see. So, do you have any regular people who come in and say hi and stuff like that? Um, you said that the chat was usually quiet. I mean, other than Garden Elf as well, for me it has been typically completely quiet. uh, I'm lucky to have a few people coming in sometimes, here and there also. But usually it's just Garden Elf in here. Yeah. Okay, I see. Yes. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll also try to come by for sure, to help you out. I know, um, from experience now that actually just having just one additional viewer as well in the live stream does a lot for discoverability on Twitch. So I will of course also try to help you out in that sense, when I can, when it makes sense. Like I notice, yeah, it does happen like that, sometimes. Sometimes you're lucky and they stay for a while. Lurkers also does a lot, I would say. But yeah, um, I think it's okay to not worry too much about the numbers, even though I do that myself, right? So don't try to act differently when you have fewer or more viewers, let's say. Of course, there are certain things like when you see a bigger spike in in the number, maybe it's a good idea to just introduce what you're doing for the day, right, for the stream, um, because there would be a large amount of new people who might have missed like an opening introduction or something like that. But otherwise, keep narrating the same way, no matter if you have 0 or 10 viewers on the stream. I think that's what really matters. Yes. Yeah, exactly. No, and I don't think it's reasonable to expect anything back as well. I think it's up to people whether or not they think it's worth to do something for another person, and I think it's totally okay to decide for themselves that that they are not gonna do that, even though it sounds a bit let's say um, I don't know how to even describe what I'm trying to say, but yeah, either way, I think it's mostly you should just do stuff with no expectation of reciprocity. That's a tough word to say. Do it because you want to and because you feel like it. And if you want to help someone out, yes. Yeah, I mean, I think selflessness is a really useful thing to work with. I also think to some extent it can be quite detrimental, but but a certain amount of selflessness is very, very good to have. And you know, people also go into a stream for personality, and well, selfless people are usually seen as kinder, right? Whereas otherwise, people who are not selfless at all and are completely selfish are of course also seen in a certain way by the viewers that they have. And I think it's better to be seen as a kind person and a good person rather than someone who's selfish by viewers. Even if selfishness could get you somewhere else in terms of success and whatever else, is it really worth it? Maybe. Maybe it is. I don't know. I cannot say. But I'm a very, very is it... Maybe it's wrong to say that I'm a very selfless guy myself, because that doesn't sound very selfless in itself to say. But yeah, anyway, I try to go out of my way to help wherever I can, whenever I can, and I don't really expect help back from anyone. I do it because I love to see people being happy and that's it, right?
Follow the veins to the altar and chant.
And I also love to just help people in general. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it does. Yeah. I just think it's good, and at the end of the day, selflessness also gets you to a point um, where um, people know that they can rely on you. They go for you to you for help and all of that stuff. And that's what really drives me as a person. That's what brings me the most joy in life, is when I am put in a position where someone asks for help and I can provide that for them. But sometimes it can also be a little much, and I neglect maybe my own needs in the in that act of selflessness, right? Um, so it can also be a detriment in that sense. Yes, that's true. That's true. Well, I've had a lot of people in my life say that I am very selfless and that I should um, think about what I can do to be a little less so um, in a lot of ways. Also including even psychologists. So you know that it's a problem when a psychologist also tells you that maybe you're being a little too selfless here. So but yeah, the issue is that it's just the thing that gives me the most joy in life, and that's the problem. That's why it's so difficult to be less selfless for me. Um, it makes it difficult for me to say no, let's say, where I maybe should say no more often to things. It makes me scared of saying no, because then it makes people think, or then in my head I'm like, well, then it could make people think that I am not willing or that I'm not capable of helping them in the way that they need. Um, okay, let's see. We had a summer sloop somewhere in this direction. Okay. And we also have a mesosphere in the same direction. And in that direction. Wait. Now it's not showing up here. Hmm. Okay. Why was it showing in this direction? Now it's showing there. I guess it's two different mesospheres showing up. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I see the summer sloop. Good. And then the sphere is further in this direction also. There are so many of these spitters everywhere. I'm looking forward to having a better weapon, because this one having to spend like 10 shots per enemy is a bit much. And having to reload every shot also. Yeah, boundaries are extremely important. And you have to find balance. Like everything. Find balance, that's the most important. Okay, good. Let's see. It's all about balance. If you cannot find balance, then you cannot find happiness, right? Okay. Uranium and SAM. Okay. Oh, I landed right next to you, but I didn't see you. You're a little one this time. Nice. That makes it easier to deal with you at least.
Look through the window and witness a thread.
The versatile framework is definitely getting there. We have so many sloops now. And it means that we should probably get the alien power augmenter at least. With 10 of those. Then we'll figure out the rest. What we'll do. Yeah, exactly. But balance is difficult to find, especially with big life changes. You mentioned you have a kid, for example. That's a big one where things... I mean, I haven't been there, but I can imagine that's a big point of where things kind of get out of whack for a while. Trying to figure out how to do this and that and so on and so forth. The same when you find a significant other and stuff like that. Things change a lot. That's a slug. I expected it to be a sloop. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, that does make sense. It's not like I need the additional power in my grid. Oh god, I'm not dealing with these flies very well. Currently, so it does make sense to use it for that. Okay, the sloop was in this direction. Probably on this rock, yes. It is. Is there another sloop nearby? No. A sphere in this direction. Let's go. Might be on this rock here, I could imagine. Nice. No. Yes, we did make it. Nice. I don't know if it's on here, but we'll see. One. Yes. Wow, that's very nice. Sounds lovely. And it's great in this time of Earth, I guess you can say, to say that you own a house and stuff like that, because that's something that's very challenging these days. That's a great achievement, great life achievement. And then also, of course, marriage and kids and all of that is also amazing. Yep. Exactly. I think most people go through that. It's modern times are very different from how it used to be, right? The whole idea of things, the whole idea of life was to get married, own a home, have kids. That was all life was about. Nowadays it's different. And people take their time and don't rush as much and all of that. That was a radioactive one, which is strange. And I think it's good in a sense that it is like that. But yeah, modern times are very different. Yes. I could have tried that. There are so many purple slugs. I don't think I'll run out of power shards anytime soon with all of these slugs that I'm finding. There's another one over there even. Oh, I didn't hit it. Yeah, I dealt with it quite easily, thankfully, in this case. That's a little one. Very good. Okay, let's also get this purple one now. I'm irradiated. The Mesosphere is in this direction, okay. Let's go for this slug and then that one after. I don't know if it's worth picking up all of these slugs now. I know that I get an opportunity to synthesize them later. And I don't know what that requires, of course. But I don't think I'll ever need power shards after this. After turning all of these into power shards. But who knows, I don't know how the late game of this game is. I can imagine that I'm towards the middle game at least. Considering how the terminal looks when I look at milestones. Nice. The very late game. Okay, I see. Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking about just slooping them, right? That makes the most sense. Considering how many purple slugs there are everywhere in this area. Like, how many do I have at this point? 21? That is way more than I expected to have. Okay. That to me sounds like an insane amount. So that should be 21 times 14, right? They each give 7, I believe. And then I can double the output, so that's 300 power charge just from those alone. I probably have a few back at base also. That's enough to fully overclock 100 machines.
Your waves lap at our shores. When will you land?
Nice. It looks like there would be something important. Maybe not. 51 sloops. Wow. Okay. That is crazy. Oh, purple is 10 even. Wow. That's even better. Okay. So then I should have 420 total. So you are probably down here somewhere. And I also have a good amount of Mercer-spheres. 50 in that and then 15 in my bag. Oh, I see, yes. Okay, sorry, yes. Yeah, so they're slooped, yeah. Slooped gives 10. I see. I don't know where I'm getting 7 from. But I'm definitely also looking forward to getting back to factory work again. It's been a lot of this. These flies are so annoying. Okay. Where are they coming from? Let's be careful of health. I will wait on the inhaler a bit, in case I take even more damage. Playing it a bit dangerously, but to be honest, if I die I'm kind of okay with it, because then I'm just gonna go back to base. Anyway. So it wouldn't be a huge deal for me. Okay, this Mercer-sphere. Nice, I'm hitting it from here. Perfect. Then I have to figure out if I can hit these from here. I think I just did. Nice. That was a great throw. I just have to deal with the flies. Mercer-sphere is like up there probably. I don't really feel like going for that golden slug, to be honest. I think I have enough power slugs as it is. And I'll just go for the easy ones if there are any. Okay, let's heal here. You can go in my inventory. Okay. I'll be fine because there isn't uranium just next to it. Let's see. Anything else? Nope, and no sloops neither. Okay, we just go. For example, this one is easy to take.